Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into the Buccateers podcast. I'm your host, Tampa Tones. We're joined by the fellas today, Stunna and Huncho. You see Stunna to the right of me, and Huncho will be joining in here shortly. He just had to make one quick technical adjustment, but nonetheless, we are here to bring you both a great victory recap against the Cowboys and a big rivalry week preview. Bucks Saints. Oh my, it's gonna be glorious. It's going to be fantastic. Hopefully for the Bucks this year. Hopefully we prevail. But we'll get into that more in a little bit here. We're gonna run the intro of the Buccateers, and we're gonna be right back here shortly. You're tuned into the Buccateers podcast on Bucks Life News Facebook and Buccateers YouTube page. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity, that place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. Beat Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Doom tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks
Donovan.
like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Never a dull moment there. We got Huncho coming back in here now. Huncho, we just rolled the live stream. Take your time coming back in. But since we Facebook was about to give us the boot, so we had a roll. Well, I guess I'm alone. We'll see if we get Huncho back shortly and Stunna. Nonetheless, you're tuned into the Buccateers. We got a great show today. We're going to talk about the big moments from Sunday's game, the front seven dominating this past weekend. That was great to see. The impressive run game, some improvements we can make moving forward, although we had a dominated win. Yes, there is a good amount of stuff we can still work on moving forward. We're going to get into the keys to the game for Sunday's game against the Saints, our players to look out for in Sunday's game against the Saints, our Thursday night football score predictions, and then we're going to get into our one big thing and walk off for Sunday. Stunna, you're in, you're out, my friend. How the hell are you, my man? I hope you're here for good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. A little technical difficulties, you know how things go. But yeah, it's rivalry week and time for Buck Nation to stand up.
Yes, sir. It certainly is, and we got our first comment of the night from Heidi. How you doing? The Buccaneers are hungry and out for payback. Oh, yes, they are. You best believe that we're going to be ready to roll come Sunday. I think Coach Bowles is going to have us all fired up, amped up, ready to play the New Orleans Saints. And it's been one of those things where we haven't been quote unquote ready or prepped the past couple of seasons, but I do think that all changes this year. I think we're ready to roll. You're watching right now on Buccateers YouTube or on Bucks Life News Facebook, or you could catch a replay on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, and so much more at Buccateers Podcast. And you can keep up with us on Twitter at Buccateers, on Instagram at Buccateers Pod, and on YouTube at Buccateers Podcast as well. Keep up with all of us. And now we're going to welcome in our other great co-host, Mr. Huncho himself. Huncho, how the hell are you, my friend? How you feeling after the big win this weekend?
Feeling good. Another victory, baby. That's always good.
Recipe for success, man. A lot of victories this year. I think that would be a glorious thing. How, are you looking forward to Sunday, man? Or are you a little nervous? What's the feeling?
I mean, I'm ready more than ever. I'm ready. I think we need a just knock these guys off. Like they said earlier, it's not a rivalry unless you can get some victories against them. So hopefully we could come out with the victory. I hope we got a better game plan, you know what I'm saying, than we usually have. But yeah, I'm excited.
And Tristan Wirfs was the Bucks, one of the Buck players who did allude to that. A reporter
Correct.
asked him about the rivalry, and he goes, "Listen, honestly, until we get our fair shake of things, it ain't really a rivalry." Yada yada yada. So that was interesting to hear. But I agree with you and him. Until you start winning some, you gotta get in the winning column here this Sunday, and we'll get into that more in a bit. But first, I want to talk about the great damn showing this past Sunday from our defense, at least. You know, we can tune some things up offensively, perhaps. But fellas, we'll start with you here, Huncho. Then we'll get Stunner's thoughts. Bucks won 19-3 on Sunday, and that I know some scoreboard stat watchers are saying, well, Dak Prescott got hurt. Well, game was pretty much over by the time he bounced out of the game. So, Huncho, what are your thoughts from this Sunday's win? What are some big moments that happened in your mind this past week, and what made you excited for things to come in the coming weeks for this Buccaneers team?
Well, obviously, our defense played tremendous. I mean, it's some things I felt like they slipped on. They didn't take advantage of a couple of what it was like interception and things like that. But as far as the zones that they were running and Antoine Winfield, the new position that he plays, I'm excited. And I love the rotation. I like to see more pressure from that front line. I seen a couple plays where Akeem Hicks was kind of getting bullied around and knocked around. And, you know, I just feel like some of the offensive linemen, we were playing a backup, what it was, left tackle. And I felt like we didn't get to him as much, to Dak, that is, as much as we should have. Far as the cornerbacks, I like that Jamel Dean is playing full-time next to Carlton Davis. I love that lineup. He played tremendous. He didn't feel like I feel like him starting is a better situation versus when subbing him and SMB out and just giving him that opportunity to lead and play. Also, I like the back end. Mike Edwards, nice breakup. As far as the offensive line, as far as the offensive side of the ball, I feel like we also can do much more. I don't know why when we got to the red zone, we stalled out a lot. And I feel like that's kind of, I don't know if that's Brady's plan to try to reel Gronk back in, or is that just because Gronk is not here, or they just had better play calls on our third downs when we got right there to the borderline. When we got right there, I feel like we weren't able to cash in. So I like to see more creativity when it comes to the play calling on when we get to the red zone. Russell Gage wasn't used as much as I thought he would be. So, I mean, it's up to Brady. I mean, Michael Parsons, he was very, very problematic the whole game. Also, I seen when Lenny, he had a clear touchdown, but Michael Parsons came and kind of tackled him from the back. So, I mean, there's some things to work on, I think, you know, but for the most part, I'm very excited and happy about how we handled that game.
Stunner, what say you on the game as a whole this past Sunday? What did you see, perhaps? Do you agree with some of the things Killa alluded to, Huncho, or do you have other things to add in or other tidbits of information you'd like to share?
No, I definitely agree. I was very happy with the outcome. I was happy with our effort. I love the defensive backfield. I like seeing Dean there full time, as well as Michael. Excuse me, Mike Edwards. Okay, and the bright spot to me was Devin White. Devin White had 2 sacks, just as many as Parsons. You know, maybe his didn't go as noticed because our defense kind of dominated. So, Parsons stood out because he was the only one really doing stuff. I came away kind of impressed with Dallas's secondary. You know, they did a pretty good job of keeping us in check. And the red zone woes, I think, was a combination of our O line being down and not being able to push people out the back of the end zone when you get down there tight, and not having a Kyle Rudolph or something like that. You know, a big body down there to body up and grab a rebound or something. So you know, it wasn't perfect, but it was a welcome result. And anytime we can beat Dallas is a good season to me. And you know, I want to see us get a winning record against them eventually. You know, those that are longtime Bucks fans remember the '80s and how they trounced us out of the playoffs, and were real nasty to our fans and whatnot. So anytime we can get payback for the Doug Williams era is a great day to be in Tampa Bay.
And we got a lot of good things that happened on Sunday, in my opinion. More specifically, defensively, I thought that Devin White's presence was tremendous. He looked like, you know, the Devin White from 2020. Not that he even had that bad of a year last year. I know PFF says this and other Twitter fans say that, but he definitely didn't have a great of a year last year as he had in 2020, but in week 1 this year, he looked tremendous. Really excited about that. I agree with Huncho in the fact that the left tackle on the Cowboys, the backup, and although a first-round pick, so expected to be good, I thought that we were going to best him a little bit better, but at the end, you did see Shaq get to him a little bit finally, and ultimately did cause Prescott his injury, sadly. But we never really got there like from our edge rushers, at least. We got there a lot up the middle and the sorts of that nature. But overall, interesting results against Dallas. They're the only team in the NFL that didn't score a touchdown. So that was interesting to see that other teams around the league who obviously have clear-cut worse offenses than Dallas didn't, you know, they're the ones that did not score a touchdown. So Vita Vea, I thought, you know, could have been, not that his name's heard all the time always for the role he plays, but I thought you could have maybe got a little bit of a bit bigger push out of him perhaps. You know, I think that the Bucks could only get better, and they dominated this Sunday. So I think that's really good things. Their run game, Lenny F, I thought he played tremendous. Stunna, what are your thoughts from Lenny F, and what did you see out of him this Sunday?
I love what I saw of Lenny F. He looked like the old Leonard Fournette from his LSU days. You know, we look like a Todd Bowles team. I remember when the Jets came down here and we ended up beating them, but it was a tight game, and we really couldn't do nothing on offense. And that's what Todd Bowles' teams looked like when he was with the Jets head coach. And, you know, when he was available, I wanted Todd Bowles. We got BA and ended up getting Todd Bowles anyway. So I was definitely happy with that decision, you know, because we got my guy anyway. But that's who I wanted as our head coach was Todd Bowles. So I'm very happy. We're playing buck ball, okay? We're running the ball. We're taking our shots, and we're kicking field goals. That should look really good to any Bucks fan from the past. And I will say that Anthony Nelson did get a sack from the edge.
Right.
Yeah, Anthony Nelson did look good, and I you know, a lot of people really noticed him step his game up as the year went on last season, and now he's primed for that third pass rusher role in this Bucks defense, coming off the edge behind JTS and Shaq. So I think he's going to have a nice year. It was a good sack he made, and we got our boy Tanner in the building. What up, Mr. Tanner? How the hell you doing tonight, man?
What up, T?
Thanks for tuning in, as always, brother. Huncho, what say you on Lenny F? And Stunna, I agree. I know you were a big Bulls advocate. Some people said this is more the type of game plan you would see now out of him. Huncho, were you impressed with Lenny F like most people were?
I was definitely impressed. But I always knew Lenny, he always runs good. He sees the holes and he hits them. He doesn't hesitate. He's not scared of contact. He was drop your shoulder, run you over type of running back. And I feel like he just did his job, and every chance he got, he was trying to get more and more yards. And I feel like if we could keep that up and opening up holes, like that offensive line was giving those holes for Lenny, Gadecki, Hainsey, running good up on the line, you know what I'm saying? Getting up to the second level of the field, just pushing those DBs back, linebackers back. And also your boy, the fullback, what we got,
O'Keefe.
Keith, exactly. He led the way on a lot of those run plays that opened up some holes for Lenny. And he read them right, corrected, and he hit them. Like I seen the play when Parsons came and tackled Lenny from like the back, and it was all straight. He was going to the house, man. And it was like Parsons just a different animal when it comes. He's so fast and strong. He just like kind of grabbed Lenny from the back. So that tackling. But other than that, if that's going to be our recipe, run it down their throat and just kill them with long shots every now and then and screens, I'm with that. Long as that can win us the game. Lenny did his job. And I know it's going around about the little check that he did. And he gave Parsons that little check, you know what I'm saying, that knocked him down, and everybody's crying about it or whatever. Von Miller said something about it. But I just feel like that's part of the game. He wasn't aware of that, and you're killing our left tackle. You get what I'm saying? There's only so many things you can do to stop him. You understand what I'm saying on that left side? And Lenny wasn't dirty. It wasn't nothing like that. He just gave him a good little check, woke him up, and they moved him from around there after that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see as much of him on that left side, but that was an awesome play, nice game. That was good. Lenny did that, checked him. I give Lenny an A+ for that game.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the chip block and everything else 110%. So, that chip block, like you said, he was pushing Wells back already. Josh Wells, our backup left tackle. Micah Parsons he was all over the place to begin with that game. One of the more premier pass rushers in the league to begin with. What do you want him to do? Sack Brady 10 times in a damn game? No, you got to get on him, and you do that with the chip block. And Lenny,
like you said, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like you said about the when everybody went to complaining and saying, oh, that hit should be out of the game, that play or whatever, that move should be out of the game, and you spoke on it, you tweeted something out the other day, and it made much sense. So it's fine when you can blindside a quarterback and they are not aware, but once you get a little contact that you can actually see, but you fail to, you know what I'm saying, to whatever, try to beat them or keep your eyes on them, that's a problem. Like, you want to tackle people, but you don't want the physicality to come back your way. And I feel like I agree with you 110%. You can't just pick and choose how you want to play football. You got to play the game and be aware of what you do. And I'm pretty sure more teams that seen that and how he complained about it on Twitter, now they're going to attack because they know that bothers him or get him off his balance of his game now. So they're going to attack him and try to get up under his skin so he can play not as dynamic as he usually plays.
Yeah, not a smart move on his opinion and on Von Miller's opinion, or on his behalf, in my opinion. I don't know why I said opinion on their behalf. In my opinion, like you said, it exposes them a little bit. Now people know what they don't like, and Ian Beckles always says you gotta give a little gut punch when you're protecting the line. So, Stunna, what say you on the chip block? How you feeling about it? What are your thoughts about it? I know a lot of people are complaining about it. What say you?
LT never complained about getting chipped. It's part of the game. He should expect to get a chip block from a tight end or a back or both. So I remember LT getting 3 tight ends or tackling 2 tight ends put on him. Okay, so he's just upset because they lost. He showed his ass by not showing up on Skip Bayless. Okay, so he just being a little, they thought they could beat us. No, you're not going to beat us. Just like New Orleans thinks they're good. They're not good. We're going to run the ball over them. Okay, and big up to the K train, Honcho. You nailed it, man. The K train is going to take us all the way, man. He's going to start busting heads. And at that fullback position, something we missed. I've been saying all off season we're going to run an offense similar to what Brady ran in New England and what Todd Bowles ran at the Jets.
Right.
So, that's what we're going to see. Power football out of the I formation, and anybody that grew up on Dungy ball should get excited.
I like it. I'm excited, man. I mean, we grew up with running backs through thick and through thin. And then obviously, you know, when BA came here, we went to more of an aerial assault, which is fine because it succeeded. But now we're kind of meshing the two, and it's great to
Let
see.
me jump in there real quick. Don't get it twisted with BA. This man coached Christian Okoye and Barry Ward with Kansas City. Look it up.
Oh yeah, no, not getting it twisted at all. But it was it was pretty obvious that, you know, it was mainly an aerial assault in the Bucs offense under Bruce Arians, which is completely fine because in 2019 we didn't even really have a viable back on the roster. I mean, we had a young Rojo and a Peyton Barber, but we really didn't have any great ball carriers. You know what I'm saying? And then 2020 we got a Lenny F that was getting acclimated to the offense. Still, we had an older LaShawn McCoy, yada yada yada. Finally, now we have a really good arsenal in that backfield as well. I feel like this is really great backfield, and I love Rojo and some of the things he did here. Don't get me wrong, but to me, this is perhaps the best backfield, well-rounded. Even if you consider Keefe, I know he's a tight end, but in that fullback role, it's just great to see a lot of the things going
I like
on.
how they shaped it up. It looks pretty decent, even with Rashard White back there. I think with more carries and he gets more time running the ball and get acclimated to the game speed of the NFL. I think a lot of that right there, the first game jitters and the pausing and all that. Like, you got to find the hole, you hit the hole, because I like how he runs. I like his hands, very good hands, but I think the game speed is a lot more faster than college. So he has to get, you know, he got to improve on the speed so he can know how to hit the hole and go. It's because they're going to come at you, and they're faster than college. So I think once he gets that down, the more carries he gets, the more time he has in this offense and figures it out, I feel like he'll be very useful.
And we kind of heard Brady say similar to those things, saying, "Hey,
Rashad White is definitely the next Le'Veon Bell."
And
See,
T. Crass in the morning always says, "Hey, he reminds him of Le'Veon," and I guess even his nickname growing up, some did call him Little Le'Veon. Tanner says it's football, f him, lol. I agree about the Parsons thing, especially it comes full circle. He was complaining about Brady complaining about the Godwin hit that took out his legs last year. So now,
right.
just because he doesn't like it, he's on the other side of the coin. Tanner says
Correct.
something else here, and Huncho will open up with you here. You can tell Mike Evans is continuously working on his route running, something he said he's been working on the past couple of off seasons. Do you agree with that? I agree. It looks like he
I
keeps
agree.
getting better and better at running these routes.
Yeah, I agree 110% with that. And I also believe that Mike Evans, he usually, like he said, how his weight, he'll take the off season and he'll just sit down for a couple months before he start getting back in the football shape. And now he says now he probably takes a couple weeks and then he's back to grinding and back to keep his body in football shape. So I can see him and Brady on the same accord in a lot of places, like on the field, where Mike he's dynamic. You can really shift him on the outside, the inside, deep routes. He's just doing it all now, man. And he looks like this year. I feel like he's gonna have an even better year than the previous ones, only if he can stay healthy. And I feel like the matchups, when you going into the Saints game, you want to shift him around, because I know they say he typically has a tough time, I guess, playing Lattimore, whatever. But I don't really see that this game, because I feel like Mike Evans is more, he's got a lot of savvy with his route running, and he's not just looking like a deer and, like, you know what I'm saying, with the headlights. He actually can do all types of routes now. And once he in that end zone, he's very deadly. You know what I'm saying? One hand catches, he's physical, he's faster than what you expect for him to be. So he can pretty much do it all. And him and Brady, as you can see, they're building chemistry and they have a connection that's going to be great for this team.
And Evans is a pros pro, best wide receiver we've ever had by far, and probably the most underrated wide receiver to this point in NFL history.
Definitely.
Damn near.
Definitely. They hate to give him the props.
He's had 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons, on pace for 8 perhaps, and I agree with everything you said, Huncho. Stunna, what say you on Mike Evans, his route running development and skills, and his relationship with Tom Brady?
He finally got a quarterback, man. He's always Mike Evans been an All-Pro ever since he got in the league. He was out of A&M his rookie year. I remember the one game he had a bunch of drops. He's overcome a lot. You know, he's always been a stand-up guy. He's always been a community guy. You know, you can't say nothing but positive about Mike Evans. I'm just glad that he was finally able to put a ring on the finger, and he should have shut some people up. But there's still a lot of doubters and haters out there, and we know that there's Buck hate is real. So people just going to hate on the Bucks no matter what, you know, because they think we're still wearing creamsicle or something. But we just got to move on and stay strong and you know, support this man and the Mike Evans Foundation. But come on, man, we got Julio, we got Mike, we got Gage. We got some Saint killers this year. So, you know, especially Julio. Julio's always been a Saint killer. So, you know, I love what Mike got, and I love Godwin. He's out anyway. But we got to go to our Saint killers this week, which is going to be Julio and Gage.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a fan of you know, the depth we brought in for this reason. You know, when you get a guy like Godwin banged up, when you get a guy like Evans banged up potentially, now you got the likes of Julio and Russell Gage to turn to, and then, oh, by the way, you still got Scotty Miller you could put in the game. You still got Perriman. You've seen Perriman get 3 targets last week. Scooter was inactive, but Perriman, I thought he ran a couple good routes. He didn't quite get his get real in any of those 3 targets he had his way, but nonetheless, you could tell for whatever reason Brady does like throwing the ball to Perriman once in a while, even. But to icing on the cake, you got Mike Evans out there, so it's just great to see. I'm looking forward to Evans climbing that ladder and touchdowns and 1,000-yard seasons. He should get a lot of touchdowns this year and a 1,000-yard season.
Speaking of the Perriman, especially the Perriman and how he performed, I feel like I know he's coming off the injury. He had a little hamstring injury and stuff, and he didn't practice as much training camp as all the other wide receivers, so he was out. So I just didn't see that much separation there from him and the DBs, you know, and I feel like he was kind of iffy. Like he didn't look as explosive as we've seen him in the past. And I think he'll just get better with more practice, you know, and I hope that's just the case because right now with Godwin out, he's definitely going to be like a third option, you know, to go to. And I just need him to just do his job. And we're going to need as much separation, especially this week. We're going to need him to step up in a big way and carry that load just for at least 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever it may be, till Godwin comes back, because he has to be able to pick up on a third defensive back. He has to be able to, you know what I'm saying, get separation from them.
And we got Loose Cannon's Leprechaun in the building. What up, LC Lep? What did I miss? Well, we've so far chatted about the Dallas moments, yada, yada, yada. Lenny F's chip block that knocked Parsons on his ass. We talked about our run game, front 7 improvements. Now we're slowly weaseling our way to talking about the Saints game. But he says, nice hat tones. What up, Huncho? Thank you, sir. The new Crucial Catch hat. Get one every year, so appreciate the compliment there. But Huncho, any words for Leprechaun?
What's up, Spank? You know, I mean, I was just looking at their podcast last night. They had a lot of points, and they have Donnie Abraham on there, so he gives a lot of insight from a actual player, a stud, you know, that sees a lot of things. And I mean, they had a lot of good points on there, and I just like they even actually shouted you out for a minute there, and same thing I spoke about. But yeah, everybody's hyping, everybody's ready to go. Fuck the Saints week, you know what I'm saying? I'm with that 100%. I'm tired of the Saints fans talking, you know. But even if we get swept and we could go to the Super Bowl, either or, I mean, I'll be happy. But I'd rather us just take the W this weekend, you know.
Well, let's get to talking the Saints game right now then, since we already started talking about him. Loose Cannon's Leprechaun alluding to the Saints says we're going to smoke him. We ain't losing another game in the regular season, in my opinion. So, hey, we got one prediction there that, you know, we're going to go 17-0. I love it, Lep. I love the optimism, bro. We're going to ball out. I think it is turn to beat the Saints, so we'll give score predictions in a little bit. But Stunna, what say you on this. We're gonna get into it right now. Bucks Saints. What are some keys to the game for the Bucks in your eyes, Stunner?
You got to shut down the receiver, Landry. Landry went off last week, so you got to shut down him. You got to force Jameson to turnovers, and you got to stop the run. All right, which we're getting better at against them lately. And we got to score points. I mean, we got to score the opportunity, and we had great, like I said, turnover, short fields, and we have to match their physicality. That's something we rarely have done.
That's definitely what it is, Stone. I agree with you. We definitely got to match their physicality. That's all what it's always been, and it starts with the offensive line. I mean, every year, Cam Jordan, he goes in there and he like dominates something when he plays against Donovan Smith in our O-line. He just dominates. And I know with Donovan Smith out, maybe he'll play. I feel like he might play because he hasn't missed any games, so he has this Iron Man streak that he's trying to continue. So even if so, I mean, we just need to slow that D line down, give Brady some time to cook up some things and block for Lenny. You know what I'm saying? Because the physicality always come and it's wreck us. It just seems like they're more edgy, like they're like the big brothers and we the little brothers, and they want to punch on us. And I feel like we need to shake that off. We definitely gotta strike back. It'll be a big win if we can go in there and beat them in their Superdome. That'll be a good look. And I feel like if we can do that, then we can do the next game after that, Green Bay. I feel like that'll be not a walk in the park, but it'll be much better than the Saints game.
And we got a question now from our boy Tanner. What do we think of Winfield in the nickel spot? Defense looks great. Well, I think that I think SMB is a good corner, but I think he should be a little worried that nickel is taken by Antoine Winfield. He's looked tremendous out there in our defense.
I don't think so. Antoine Winfield is playing a box safety. He's just running this guy flat defender, in a cover three. He's basically playing Jordan Whitehead's role from last year. So they basically put a speedier guy in the back end, like a Mike Edwards or Logan Ryan, and they put Antoine Winfield into the role that Whitehead had last year, and therefore Winfield being a better athlete is a better playmaker.
This is a much more expanded version of that, though, because Whitehead very, very little time got asked to go man coverage, and Bowles is trying to zone less as well. So
it's a smart idea. It's a smart idea.
And we got the safeties to do it now too. You got guys like Mike Edwards, Logan Ryan, and although Keanu Neal didn't really play all too much, you got depth back there, so you could move a guy like Winfield around. You could move a guy like SMB or a guy like Edwards around. So I think that it's been very promising to this point. The Buck, obviously it's only one game in, but we've heard about it all off season, how we were going to get some new looks defensively and whatnot. And we're starting to see those single-handedly with Winfield on defense. What say you, Huncha?
I feel like Winfield is a true, that was a real steal of a draft pick, and he's a stud. He's like his dad. I don't know what it is, but any position when he steps on the field, he excels at it. Him in that nickel role, it looks so good. He's giving me like him playing all over is bringing me back to Rondé Barber type back in his day when, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to crown him yet, but he's looking very, if he can keep this up and how he is and how he's learning and how he just takes it to the field and he excels at it. I mean, the man had a pick his first time really playing that role. He had a pick, you know what I'm saying? That's good. And he always, it doesn't matter how big the defender is. He's on the cover. Like you said, he plays more man. He plays very big. He's strong. I mean, I seen him take the tight end down by he's head up. Like the guy's a strong built athlete. And what he is 6 feet, 5'11", something like that. But he plays way bigger than what he is. He plays like his dad. The dude's a stud. And I love that position. And then you have Mike Edwards in the back. He's a ball hawk. He can cover so much field quickly. Like as you've seen at the end of the game when the backup quarterback for the Cowboys tried to shoot the
Cooper Rush.
Down there. Cooper Rush, he tried to shoot the ball down there at the end, and Mike Edwards traveled so quick he over there and he broke the ball up. You understand? And he always gets his hands on the ball. And then you got Logan Ryan with that experience, the veteran veteran leadership back there. He knows so much about routes, and I feel like he'll be more involved as the season goes on. He's a hell of a tackler. He's not scared to get in there and make those dirty tackles. I mean, I just love the way Todd Bowles played that whole secondary. It was just tremendous, and the new spot that Winfield's in.
Yeah, Stunna, you alluded to it a little bit. What are your thoughts on Winfield this year? And then Cleve and me as a comment. What are your thoughts? He says Bucks defense is much better than the Aints. Bucks will get 3 takeaways. Is that a good prediction? You think that's too money or too little for the Bucks D?
If Jameis plays loose with the ball and tries to take off scrambling and shit, we got a chance at that. But
Yeah,
they hand the ball off and they're able to no.
the Falcons had it. They just didn't capitalize on it. They dropped the interceptions, and I think they didn't attack as much, but they struggled with the Falcons and that defense. And I feel like we have a much improved defense from last year. And those opportunities we can't let go by. With Jameis, you know how he can become reckless with the football. I know he's been at the Saints and he's supposed to change and he's careful with the ball, but I still see him make some terrible decisions. And I just feel like when those type of plays come up, we got to take advantage of those. And being that I feel like Jameis, he holds the ball much longer than Dak was getting the ball out quick. So I feel like if he holds that ball that long that he was holding it Sunday versus the Falcons, that we're going to take advantage of that. And I see we can easily get some sacks and some fumbles, turnovers easily if he goes to panicking. And if we get up enough points and he tries to play the Superman role and goes to throwing the ball loosely, I mean, I feel like that's just going to be the key of the game, actually, to help us is make Jameis make stupid decisions and force the ball over.
Yeah, I agree with that. Stunna, your thoughts on Jameis and him about his turnovers?
Absolutely agree. It's really it's beyond the placement of the ball. It's the way he carries the ball in the pocket. That strip sack is wide open against Jameis. Okay, and that it's man, he can still make the tight throws. You understand? He made some tight throws. So it's about our secondary. It's about our coverage. They have some good receivers. And Landry balled out, so we definitely got to stop that guy. And
I'm more worried about Taysom.
Which one?
Taysom Hill. That's
Taysom Hill is also a problem. Taysom Hill, we have never. The last time we were really physical with them was when we were in the Color Rush red ketchup outfits, and they came out on us and scored like 14 points, but from there we pretty much were back and forth, and that was really the last time we were able to really be physical with them. But Taysom Hill, we've never really stopped him. We never seen Landry, and
Olive, whatever, Olive.
Yeah, the rookie's legit. He's a legit playmaker.
Didn't even see much of Kamara Sunday. He was kind of quiet Sunday, but we're gonna see what. I feel like both teams were holding the playbook back. I don't feel like we really unleashed our playbook when we were playing the Cowboys this week. I think we just were doing enough just to win the game because we pretty much knew they couldn't score. So I don't think Todd really opened up the book where we had offensively try to put up a lot of points down on the board, So I think we'll just open it up more because the Saints, they're going to come out. They're going to be firing. They're going to come out electric, the Saints fans. They're going to be into it. They're going to talk their shit. Lattimore's going to try to get in Mike Evans' head. It's a lot of things. It's a very nasty game, no matter what. It's always going to be that nasty game. So if we can match their intensity and come with a little more, I like Lenny, how he's been carrying himself lately because he's been that physical force on the line. He's picked up where Ryan Jensen was missed off. He's been pushy, being aggressive. And he's been having that chip on his shoulder. I got it, Ryan. I know we still gonna be next. We ain't on no soft shit. You know what I'm saying? So I like how he's been playing, and if he could keep that up, and maybe we can, get them to make some mistakes or just punch them in their mouth, before they get us.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You got to kind of out physical them from the get go. You got to slap them around a bit. You got to be the one to put your foot down, not the other way around. And we've seen the Bucks get off to some hot starts against the Saints before, and then nothing really came of it. So once you score 7, you can't stop. You can't slow down. You got to keep putting up touchdowns. You got to keep accelerating. The game that comes to mind specifically was Brady's first as a Buck against the Saints when he got a rushing touchdown, and things look good. We went up 7-0. The next thing you know, bam, Saints kind of had their way with us all day long. And you can't let them talk down to you, right? You got to go in there and you got to fight. You got to
Yeah.
man up. You got to toughen up. It's like Donovan Smith. If Cam Jordan ever talked to me like that, Donovan Smith is a good left tackle. He got his contract, deservingly so. Cam Jordan pretty much laughed at him, and Donovan Smith, however many times Cam Jordan beats you or whatnot, you don't let a growing man talk to you
Man,
like
he
that.
said what he said, free food when he got a resign. He's like, yeah, solidified food or something for the
Yeah,
next few years. He was like, and Donovan Smith, he ain't say nothing, but it's like you gotta go out there and walk that walk. You got that contract, and this man been getting the best of you, man. You got one of the best you gotta protect, man. You gotta go out there and throw it all out there. Don't be scared. Like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say he's scared because I know he's not, but get physical. Like, you gotta put your dominance. Use a big motherfucker, Donnie. You gotta show him that you ain't playing about, you know what I'm saying, about your team, your quarterback. You gotta set the tone.
correct. I agree with that completely. Got to be a tone setter, not let the tone get set on you. We got another comment here. Stunner will let you get the first crack at this one. Falcons were able to run on them. We got to mix in some play action if we are able to run the ball. Didn't see much play action against Dallas as well as we were able to run the ball. Yeah, and Brady's always been a guy who does use a good amount of play action when he runs the ball. Didn't see too much of it on Sunday, but a couple guys alluded to it, Carlton Davis and more, saying that you're going to see some good stuff against the Saints, pretty much, quote unquote. Stunna, do you think we're saving some play action and other things perhaps in our playbook for the matchup against the Saints on Sunday?
Yeah, we definitely got to run the ball on them. We have to test it. I want to see the screen game. We hit Godwin with that one screen, but we can come up with more. Definitely want to see some play action. Want to see some screens. Want to keep seeing the jet sweeps. Just keep them honest.
Yeah, Huncho, what say you?
Definitely, I like the jet sweeps with Julio. Also, it was something that I feel like was new. I just feel like when you do that, the tight ends they gotta block a little more because and he was doing some nice blocking, but I seen some times where he got beat, and when he got beat, the whole play just broke down. That's kind of where I believe where we missed Gronkowski at because his dynamic blocking was elite. Like, he could block just like a lineman, and he was so big you can't just out muscle him. But I seen when you put Parsons on Otten, he's going to get worked. You put defensive lineman on him, it's going to get worked. He tried his best, but for the most part, I seen him get beat a couple times. But we just gotta set the edge. We gotta, if we want to get anything started. I could see more better play calling from Byron Leftwich. I mean, it was run. I understood, but when we got down there in the red zone, it was run. Like, didn't see much of the play action. You understand? It was the perfect time to hit the play action and catch Otten or one of them. You know what I'm saying? Over the top. But we didn't use that, and I feel like it came back to haunt us because you gotta fool them somehow. You gotta get them to bite. We was running the ball so good, they were gonna bite on any play action that we sent them. And I feel like he just gotta call better plays at the even on our side of the ball when they were rushing Brady. When they kept rushing and sacking Brady, I just felt like the play calling got kind of like watered down when we got to moving the ball downfield.
I think that on Sunday too, it could have been the case where we had that game so wrapped up that we really And I'm just guessing here that we didn't really want to show our cards or true colors,
I
perhaps.
agree.
Because it was working. Just running the ball down their throat, taking time off the clock, even though settling for three here, three here, three here. That's all the Bucks needed on Sunday. So maybe that's going to evolve this Sunday if we come out and see some play action. I mean, a guy like Julio Jones on the play action on a deep post or something like that, forget about it. Double move on the outside,
Right.
pump and go type stuff. That shit would be electrifying with a guy like Julio, especially if you got Evans on the other side to worry about. You got Gage, you got Godwin back in the fold eventually. You could do so much with play action in this sort of offense. And you are tuned into the Buccateers here. We are live on Bucks Life News Facebook, Buccateers YouTube page, and we're getting rolling here. We're talking Saints Bucks. We're talking victory week. Now we're going to do our players to look out for. We're going to choose one from each side of the ball, one from the Saints, one from the Bucks to look out for. We're going to give our opinions of why we're looking out for each of these players on each team and the impact that they might make. So we'll start with the opposition here. We'll start with the Saints. Huncho, one guy in the Saints that worries you or you're looking out for, perhaps, if you're a Bucks fan on Sunday.
Well, I already said for the offense. I already said Taysom Hill. So
Oh, yep.
I would say Taysom Hill. Other than that, I want to say I know he just came back, but maybe Michael Thomas because I just know he has he him and Carlton Davis, they've been going back, but I mean, he was slipping a lot versus the Falcons. He was slipping and falling, but when he got in his mode, he was just nasty with it. He got nasty with it. So I don't want him to get too in that mode and he ends up just like somehow beating Carlton Davis, but I don't see it. But I feel like he'll be a guy to watch out. Also, Kamara. And on the defense side of the ball with them, I would go with exactly Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, of course, because he's a game record on that line, and that's where everything started. So if we can somehow just keep him blocked and give Brady some time to cook, make some good decisions, then I feel like we can have a good game. But if he has a game like he's been having in the past, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, I agree. I think you make some good predictions there. Cam Jordan's gotten the best of the Bucks plenty of times before. We're gonna have to really slow him down. We can't let him get near Tom Brady. Try and throw the goat off of his game. Michael Thomas had a huge fourth quarter last week. Did minimal going into that fourth quarter, but when they were down 16, when they needed him most, when it mattered the most, they were able to lean on Michael Thomas. Gets 2 touchdown grabs, racks up about 58 total all-purpose yards. So still a threat, proven so just like that. Hasn't scored since 2019. Now has 2 touchdowns in the first game of 2022
Crazy,
with
crazy
Jameis.
catches too. It was some
Yeah,
crazy catches.
and it's like, yeah, some crazy catches he made. And it's like, Atlanta, are you freaking kidding me? How the
They
hell
did
do you let
everything they
those
could to give it
happen?
away.
Literally gave the game away. And I'm not a Falcon fan by any means. I hate him as much as the Saints as well, but definitely as a Buck fan at this point in time, you're pulling for the Falcons to pull one out in that game and that atmosphere. And the fact is, a lot of Bucks fans are watching that game, and you kind of just could feel the slow demise coming of the Falcons and the Saints on the upcoming, and eventually it led to just that. And guys like Michael Thomas, Taysom Hill, and Cam Jordan played a big factor in that. Stunna, Saints players of the game on your behalf?
Well, I think on offense, it's definitely going to be Landry, and I do think Taysom Hill's a threat. I think the receivers are good. So my defensive player for the Bucks is going to be Carlton Davis. He's got to step up and get some play, get some picks. And it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough sled because they're a good team, but we just got to step up and get it done. So offense, I mean, one of the receivers, and defense, Demaryius Thomas, we got to block him so we can run the ball. And So, of course, on our offense is going to be Leonard Fournette. That's going to be our key to victory.
You think Lenny F will be a key to victory? I'll get into my Bucks in a bit. I'll talk about my Saints players to look out for here on their side. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to have a huge game, what or not, but I'm going to mention Jameis Winston to look out for him. You could tell we heard all about revenge games last week, right? You had Russell Wilson at Seattle. Seattle got the best of him. You had Joe Flacco against Baltimore. Baltimore got the best of him as well. And then you had Baker Mayfield against the Browns. Browns got the best of him. So if that trend continues, it bodes well for the Buccaneers as all these ex-quarterbacks have struck out against their new teams, or against their old teams, I should say. Is that a coincidence? Probably, but could nerves play a factor into that? These guys are very familiar with the other locker rooms, have a lot of friends in these other locker rooms, sure. And I know that people are going to say, "Oh, yeah, we've seen Jameis against the Bucks before." Well, not really, because last year he got hurt pretty early in the game on a clean Devin White tackle that they call a horse collar. Yeah, it could have been a horse collar, perhaps, but not like it was an intentional hit or a dirty hit on purpose. So, really, I'm looking out for Jameis Winston of the Saints and see if he comes out firing on all cylinders, or if he's looking more of the quarterbacks of week one type against their former teams, looking a little more nervous and the like of that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jameis and how he looks. But, he's been the same Jameis to my understanding in terms of pregame speeches, verbiage in the locker room. So good to see out of our old friend Jameis Winston that he's still making bad throws out there too. I know he didn't have any interceptions technically in the game, but if you guys are watching that game, our old friend Jameis is still throwing dangerous ass passes, and really he's lucky that a lot of those passes didn't result in turnovers or points going the other way for Atlanta. So good to see him still making dangerous throws at the same
Exactly.
time as
I
the good.
just kind of wonder. I always also last year, because I see we switched it up with Antoine with her. I always wondered if Jameis, that's why, because he was giving away our defensive calls, or he was giving away our defensive, and of course he knows the receivers and their tendencies, and you know what I'm saying, the same thing with the defense. He knows the tendency, so I'm pretty sure he sold it for him and gave him all the information they needed. So it's just no way. It's like John Gruden. You understand, when he came here and we played the Raiders, everybody, they say they knew what they were going to do. You know what I'm saying? Our quarterback for 5 years, he was there. He's been there with the team, so he knows pretty much everybody. And he played against Todd Bowles' defense in practice, so he knows what to expect. So I'm pretty sure, hoping that Todd cooked up something different for this game, so Jameis something foreign, so he can't just pick it apart, or they just seen it before. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you. He's going to have to do something like that in order, Todd Bowles, that is, in order to get creative. And like you said, Jameis practiced against him many a times. Stunner, what say you on Jameis squaring off against the Bucks?
I agree with Honcho. He knows our playbook. He was here with Brian Renef, which was OC in 2019. So, it's an issue. I think he knows less of our personnel now because our personnel kind of flipped over.
Right.
So that is the biggest difference, I think, with Jameis. But we all know he gave the playbook to Peyton a couple years ago, and that kept him competitive. But in the playoffs, Chicago exposed him, and it was over for them when they saw us again.
Yeah, so Stunner gave his Bucks player of the game, Carlton Davis and Lenny F. Huncho. Who are your Bucks players to look out for in this one?
My Bucks player, of course, offensive. I'm just gonna go both ways. It's not even one person. It's the offensive line and defensive line on the defense. That's how I see it. Our offensive line has to protect Brady, has to make holes for Leonard Fournette or Rashard White, have to hold up, and that's where it's going to start, and that's what's going to finish the trenches. Defense, the same thing. We need to get more pressure at Jameis. Got to watch for screens. Whole Alvin Kamara, and you know what I'm saying. You just gotta. We definitely gotta. We gotta show up in the trenches. That's what I'm saying. It's not one particular person I see on our side. It's going to have to be a group effort for us to come out that game with a W. And we just definitely got to see more from both sides of the ball. We can't go in there trying to play them like we played the Cowboys, especially on defense and that defensive line. We got to Dak a couple times, but I feel like we really were close, but we didn't. We were supposed to show our dominance. And I feel like this game we really have to step up. I don't want to see the Vita Vea falling on the ground, Hicks falling on the ground. You got to hold your own and move some guys out the way and get to that quarterback. At least get Jameis off his spot and get the run in so he can make stupid decisions. And that's pretty much, I feel like, gonna dictate who wins the game.
I could agree with that myself. Stunna, what say you about that before we wiggle into some score predictions and I give my Bucs player of the game to look out for?
All right, true that. Absolutely, Honcho. Yes, it's going to come down to the trenches. That's where the game is won or lost. And the physicality we already talked about. So we have to physicality, and that's where you match it at. And that's where I talk about Leigh Fournette. And Rashad's got to break some. He's got to get out. And other than that, it's really on the defense. It really is. I mean, they have elite talent, but we're in the NFL, so we have to
I'm looking forward to how Keith looks this week to see if he could try and replicate his physicality from week 1 and perhaps even play more snaps this week. I think he logged about 15 to 17 percent of snaps last week altogether. So it was good to see him get involved, but now this week it would be even more appropriate and a little bit better to see him take it up a notch to the next level, play a little bit more. And, he wasn't really only in there for all runs. His primary function was blocking, but he was in there on a good amount of pass plays as well. So I'm really interested to see the direction that our offense continues to take, and especially with Keith involved, what packages he could potentially get him if we use him in goal line, wheel routes, stuff like that. Maybe sneak something in. I could very much see Keith getting a sneaky touchdown or at least an opportunity for one on Sunday. And, right when people expect it least, they'll try and utilize him, in my opinion. It's time for score predictions, fellas. Stunna, we'll start with you. Lay it on us. Bucs Saints, who you got winning, and what's your final?
Bucs 31, Saints 24.
So you got us starting the year 2-0. Love it. Huncho, what's your score prediction, and how do you see it get in there?
I honestly, deep down, I really feel like it's going to be a tough game, and actually the Saints might, because it's just too much. I don't know if they what they're gonna do, but I'm a Buccaneer homer, and I'm gonna stick with us, and I'm gonna ride, and I'm gonna say we're gonna do the same thing what we did in the playoffs, and I'm gonna say 30-20.
30-20 you got. I like that. I think it's gonna be a grueling game, and you see Loose Cannon's Leprechaun. I love the plays as fullback. Yeah, it's reminiscent of not exactly obviously Lorenzo Neal type way back in the day, but it gives you that bruiser block and fullback type image where Keith is out there to do one thing, and that's maul, and that's be nasty, and that's dominate. I love that play as a fullback as well. Loose Cannon's Leprechaun says 30-24 Bucs is his prediction. Derek says 23-17 Bucs is his prediction. So we're getting a lot of Bucs score predictions right now. I'm going to go with this. I'm going with 27-26 Tampa. We win on defense and running the ball once again. Obviously, Tom Brady makes some plays and some throws, and we are effective in the passing game here and there. But I view it as us being effective on the ground a lot. O'Keefe being in there, getting a good push. Some of our other guys getting a great push. And I also view it as our defense stepping up, and I see it as Suck Up stepping up, making a couple kicks. I see the Saints needing to settle for a lot of field goals. I got us winning by 27-26, but I think we win it comfortably. Saints are trying to play comeback ball, fall a little short. Not comfortably when you win by 1, but you know what I'm trying to say. Derek says, think defense going to be responsible for the win. I agree with you 100%, Derek. I think that we're going to be thanking our defense for the reason why we win the football game as well. I think that guys like Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea, Hicks, everyone in that front seven and beyond is going to have a great effort to help propel us to victory against the Saints. And 27-26 might sound a little narrow, but again, we haven't beat them in 7 regular season
You never
games.
know.
So
As long as we win, I don't give a damn what the score is.
I don't care if we win by 1. I don't care if we win by 50. As long as we get a W, it's a damn W at the end of the day. When you win a Super Bowl, they don't ask you later in life, oh, how many points did you win that Super Bowl by? You know, they don't use that as a credibility factor. It's if you won the game. It's
If
how
we
you
blow
won
them
the
out,
game.
if we blow them out, though, that's dynamic. Like, that's very good. Looking forward, that'll look very good. So, that's always good, but we'll see.
Yeah, now we're going to get into one big things and walk-offs, and then we'll get any last words in that we might need. We've already been running for a great hour and 2 minutes now. It's been fantastic to this point with Huncho, with Stunahair, alongside myself, Tampa Tones, on the Buccateers podcast on this beautiful Wednesday night, couple days till game day. Football season just hits different, right? All of a sudden Thursday, you got Thursday night football, so let's predict that real quick, fellas. We got one big injury on both sides, playing factor. We got Keenan Allen ruled out on the Chargers side of the ball. We got the Chiefs' great Pro Bowl kicker, Harrison Butker, being ruled out on their side of the ball. Boy, 2 big injuries there. Both these teams are 1-0 and both looked really impressive week 1. The Chargers took down the Raiders, and the Chiefs destroyed the Cardinals on the road. So, Huncho, who you got in tomorrow night's game? Pat Mahomes or Justin Herbert?
Where they playing at?
I think they're in Kansas City.
I'm gonna definitely go with the Kansas City. As much as I want Chargers to beat them, I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes look like he hasn't fallen off with Tyreek gone, and they just dismantled the Cardinals, and that Cardinals were a decent team last year. We'll see, but they didn't also have D-Hop. They didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. That could have played a big part in it, but with no Keenan Allen, I don't know how that offense is really going to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and his scoring. So I'm going to say the score might be – I definitely got to give Patrick Mahomes them 30 points, or I'm going to say 28, 24. 28, 24.
You're
Kansas
going
City.
with the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, maybe even might be uglier than that, but I'm going with the Chiefs 28, 24.
I think I got Kansas City as well until, as great as the Chargers might be and that front seven might be, they got Bosa, they got Khalil Mack coming off the edge. It is nasty. And by the way, they're going to add J.C. Jackson eventually when he does get healthy. And as great as Herbert is, I just can't take it away from the Kansas City Chiefs. Although I think Harrison Butker is a big injury in that game. They're kickers, so we'll see what happens. But kickers play pivotal points in NFL.
Who's kicker? Whose kicker's messed up?
Chiefs kicker is out. Harrison Butker.
So is Reed kicking for them, or
he might be Justin Reed? Their safety. I know he's kicked for Houston before, and he's an emergency.
He did kick last. He kicked last week, and I think he did pretty good. But I'm not saying for extra points or 3 points. I don't know if he kicked, but I seen him do kickoffs and stuff like that.
Maybe he might very well be doing kickoffs, honestly. That wouldn't surprise me. Like you said, we've seen him do it before. I think in a preseason game, he did kick an extra point before as well. So we've seen him be able to handle himself from short distance. Hey, maybe they don't want to waste a contract and sign a guy if Bucker's injury is short term, and maybe Kansas City's okay with that. Who the hell knows? But I got the Chiefs coming out on top as well. I'm going with 34-27 Kansas City. Stunna, who you going with in tomorrow night's game?
I'm going to go with Kansas City, 42. Chargers, 35.
You got a huge scoring game. I like that.
I like
No
it. I
pun.
love it. I love it. We're gonna have a hell of a game if that happens.
Derek says, I think this game is a turning point to get back on track with the Saints. Going back to Bucs Saints as we close out here, as we all gave our Thursday night predictions. I think this game is too, man. And I know we've been saying it a lot at this point, and it does sound cliche, but I personally think this is the turning point for the Bucs to get back on track against the Saints. And I think we sweep them this year. I think we win a close one on the road. And then I think we beat them up at home.
Yeah, if we beat them on Sunday, I definitely could see us running it back down here.
I agree, fellas, and I think we're all in agreement there. We're at the hour and 6 minute mark here, so we're going to go around and do our one big thing. Hey, Joyce, how you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight on the Buccateers. Derek says, I like the Bolts to upset the Chiefs 37-33, Derek's got.
I love it. I love it.
That could happen as well. I mean, Justin Herbert's a hell of a quarterback, and, you know, you got a lot of good things going the Chargers' way, sorry. Kansas City, great team, but Chargers are one of those teams that are up and coming. They could easily overtake in that conference before you know it. But, fellas, one big thing in walk-off before we hop out of here. Huncho, we'll start with you. One big thing to look out for this weekend for the Bucs and in the NFL, and one walk-off for the Bucs Saints game this Sunday.
You can go first because I want to understand. I want to know exactly what you mean. I never did it before.
Pretty much just what's one big thing you're looking out for this weekend, and what's your walk-off for the show. Stunna, we'll start with you here.
I got you. All right, so what I'm looking for, I'm gonna just say our game because I really don't even know much about the other games. I look for play calling, and just I want to look competitive. I don't want to get blowed out. We didn't score the last time we played them. You understand? I want to look competitive. So that's exactly, I want to see what this is going to determine really what kind of team are we when we are back. Like, we've been playing them and they've been beating our ass. So we know what time it is. Like, we got to go in there. And we're going to be the type of team that could go in a rivals home, knock them in the mouth, and get out of there with the victory. I want to really see that. I really want to see that, to see what kind of team, what we've been working on all season. This is like, I feel like a big game for us, despite just being the second game. I feel like if we go 2-0 right now, that'd be big. And I just feel like it's all on the table right now. You got to balls to the wall right now, man. And my walk-off is, I just wish everybody just stay healthy. I want everybody to stay healthy on both teams. Everybody just to make it out of the game healthy, and I'll be happy with that. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you, Derek, for the good job. Appreciate everybody.
I agree with you there. Health is key, right? I mean, week one, we Loose Cannon's Leprechaun says he really wants to see that too. Well, there goes Stunna. We were going to get to his closeout, but he looked like he got out of here. I forgot we are giving away a Luke Gedeke signed mini helmet as well. Luke Gedeke, our second round pick offensive lineman. It's cool. It says Fire the Cannons on one side, and then has his signature and number 67 on the other, and then his decals are on the other side as well, and our alternate logo is on one side. So if you want a chance of winning this beautiful signed mini helmet, and it comes with a picture of Luke autographing the helmet himself, you could have a chance. Follow us on Twitter and keep up with that. We're going to do a score prediction tweet and an MVP tweet. And then next week on the show, what we're going to do is have all the Buccateers, whether they're in person or not, vote who their MVPs of the game were. And whoever, say if 3 people say Devin White was the MVP of the game, whoever said Devin White in their prediction will be put into a randomizer if there's more than one person. Yada yada yada, so forth. So be on the lookout. You'll have to follow Buccateers Pod on Twitter, and then you'll see more information over there later this week. But yeah, my walk off and one big thing. Since Dunn about out of here, maybe his phone died. Who the hell knows what happened? He was having technical difficulties, or maybe we just went too long. But my one big thing is look out for consistency from the Bucs, and by that I mean you're going to see running again. You're going to see front 7 being explosive again. It wasn't a fluke in the first game how things played out. Now, will things have to change along the way, and will the scores alter throughout the way? Obviously, nothing is going to be as great as it was in week 1 against Dallas, but you're going to see heavy dose of Lenny F. You're going to see Rashad White sprinkled in. Then you're going to see the front 7 really getting after it. When you got guys like Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks up the middle, Logan Hall up there, William Golston up there, Raheem Nunez-Roach is up there, it's just inevitable not to have the front 7 to play that big of a role. And then our walk-off, or my walk-off, I should say, is just enjoy, even though it's only week 2, guys, enjoy the NFL, enjoy football season. This is something we take for granted. Think about it in terms of this. We were all excited for the Hall of Fame game, and that was already a month and a half ago. Now we're already on to week 2 of the NFL season. Before you know it, we're going to get through Christmas portion of the year, then playoffs, and bam, it'll be off season. So sit back, relax, enjoy your favorite team, specifically the Buccaneers, and just really, really, really dig in and enjoy football season. I know we got some other Bucs podcasts on the horizon right now that just started and whatnot too. So Huncho, any last words before we bounce out of here for Buccateers peeps and Buccaneers peeps?
I see you guys after this victory Sunday. We doing a post game or a pregame, post game?
Yeah, we'll be doing a post game show. The only reason, usually we're gonna try and do post game shows almost every time we play at 12 or 3, specifically 12, or that's Central Time. So your time they play 1 or 4. We're always gonna try and do shows for those that night. But since they played so late on Sunday, it was just exhausting. But yeah, we'll be out and about on Sunday, brother. We'll be coming at the fans with a post-game show, hopefully. So Loose Cannons Leprechaun says, hell yeah, victory. Yes, sir, man.
Let's go,
yes,
man. Loose Cannons, what's up, man? Let's go.
Be on the lookout, bro, for some giveaways and shit. But yep, Huncho, we'll see you Sunday. Huncho, hopefully will be here. I'll be here. Hopefully we get some of the other crew here as well. I'd imagine.
Stay blessed. Stay safe.
And I imagine your availability for those post games are better when we're on the road, opposed to at home or whatnot, because you're probably out and about at home games.
Yeah, regardless, it don't matter. I'm here. I try to make it as many times as possible.
That's what I love to hear. Is Huncho says, stay blessed and stay safe, everyone. You guys have tuned in to the 82nd episode of the Buccateers. Sorry we started a little late. Sorry for some technical bullshit, but at the end of the day, it was a pretty damn great show. So we appreciate you guys. Follow us on Twitter at Buccateers. Follow us on Instagram at Buccateers Pod. YouTube Buccateers Podcast. You could keep up with us on Facebook at Bucs Life News. And you could follow us on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, and so much more for the instant replay of every live show. It's Huncho, it's Tampa Tones, and wherever the hell Stunner went. And for the rest of the guys, this has been the Buccateers. Oh, and be on the lookout. Next week, we're going to have new videos, new logos, everything. We're going to do a little revamped look of the podcast. So we appreciate the logo now, but it could get better. The video, same thing. It could get better, and they will.
Hey, it's a work in progress, man.
Absolutely, Huncho. You have a great night, bro. You stay blessed, my friend, and, just keep doing your thing, bro.
You too. See you later. Peace out. Stay blessed, everybody.
That's the Buccateers. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.